Hey guys, I'm back with another Quick Covers by OAM video. Quick Covers are made in Ames, Iowa, and they're a rocker panel and cab corner replacement alternative. So traditional rocker panel and cab corners, when they rust, you take them to a body shop, you spend a couple $1,000, they cut them out and weld new metal ones in. The problem with that is, one, it's expensive, and two, down the road, if you still live in an area where they treat the roads with salt and you have winter, you're probably gonna have to replace them a second time. So OAM came up with this. They're an ABS plastic, and they're designed to go over your existing rusted rocker panel and cab corners. That's great because you can do it at home. You don't have any special training. It's really not all that hard as long as you read the instructions. This set here is going to be going on a 2012 Ford F150 Super Crew. They will fit 2009 through 2014 F150 Super Crews. Hold on though, if you don't have an F150, don't go anywhere. This process is pretty much the same across the board for all quick cover installations. And they probably have a set that'll fit your pickup. So this set here is the paintable version, so they're smooth plastic. They also sell a textured plastic that is UV treated and ready to go out of the box. So if you don't want to paint, that's the set for you. You put them right on your truck. They have a texture similar to that of fender flares. So the first thing you're going to want to do when you get your quick covers is test fit them. Make sure that there's no problems and that they're going to fit on your pickup. The last thing you want to do is get through all the prep work and go to put them on and they're not quite right. After that, you're going to want to go ahead and blow them off with an air compressor. So I've already done that. That's just going to get all any debris or dust off of them that might have gotten on them during shipping. Once you have your quick covers blown off, you're going to want to take the anti-static surface cleaner that is included in the quick cover installation kit and a lint-free disposable towel, and just go ahead and wipe down all of these. That's going to take any oils or residues, anything off of these covers, and get it ready for your plastic primer. All right, once your quick covers have dried from you using the anti-static surface cleaner, we're going to be applying the Polyvance bumper and cladding coat adhesion primer. So this adhesion primer is great. You're going to have to use it before you use a base coat of your correct color paint on this. Otherwise, you're going to have issues with that paint sticking to the quick cover. The nice thing about this adhesion primer from Polyvance is you don't have to scuff these at all. So there's a little bit of sanding done at OAM if there's any imperfections or anything like that, just as a courtesy so that these are as smooth as possible. But you're not going to have to do any sanding. We're going to go ahead and we're going to shake this can for a minute, which I already did. And then we'll do 2 light coats on this with 5 minutes in between. And then we're going to let it sit for about an hour. If you have an oven and you're in a body shop, you can go ahead and you can bake it and it doesn't take anywhere near as long as an hour, but an hour is not all that bad. All right, once your adhesion primer dries on the quick covers, you're going to need to get a paint that matches the color of your pickup. You can go ahead and check out one of your local automotive stores. Usually they can help you out with paint. Otherwise, there are online retailers that can match your paint code like what we have here. So you're going to want to make sure that you get full coverage on these. You're going to go several coats, do it to the specs that's on your specific paint can, and then make sure you get a good top coat to help protect your quick covers for a long life. All right, so we've gotten the base coat put on our quick covers now. Before we put our clear coat on, we're gonna go ahead and just run a tack cloth over everything. That's gonna pick up any dust or debris that's settled on the covers and make sure that it doesn't get sealed inside your clear coat, giving you any blemishes in the final finish. You can pick these up at your parts store for like $1 or $2. Wherever you get your paint at should also carry these. The only other thing to remember when you're doing clear coat is it is a lot thinner than the paint that you just put on your covers. So make sure you spray it a lot lighter and just do more coats. Less is more when it comes to clear coat. All right, once your quick covers are completely painted, we need to get them ready to get them on the truck. So we're gonna take the included alcohol wipe and we're gonna wipe the backside all along the top that'll go in contact with that pinch weld where your weather stripping was. And then once we get that clean, we're gonna go and take this double-sided 3M adhesive and run it all the way along the top there. It's going to be about 1/16 of an inch from the edge. That way it doesn't show after installation. When we put this tape on, we're going to want to press down with quite a bit of pressure because it is pressure sensitive tape. All right, once you get the 3M double-sided adhesive on your quick covers, you're gonna wanna go and we're gonna peel back just the first 1 to 2 inches of each tape. That way you can get the tail of it up and out of the cover. So when you press this against the truck, you're gonna be able to pull on that and peel the rest of the tape back. So the first thing you're gonna do after you wash your pickup in preparation for installing quick covers is gonna be remove any trim that's in the doorway, as well as this weather stripping. So they make trim remover kits. You also could use a flathead screwdriver if you're cautious with it. You're gonna wanna just put a slight pressure on the clips till they pop out. If you try to rip on it, you're gonna break something. All right, so once you have the trim and the weather stripping removed from the door, we're gonna go ahead and take a hammer and tap the rust all the way down the rocker panel and on the cab corner. That's gonna break up any debris and loose material in there and get it out, so you're not just sealing that in when you're putting the covers on. If you've got really severe rust, Quick Covers recommends cutting that out. We're not gonna be doing that today at the request of the client. So we're just gonna tap any metal that's bent back out, back in, and just get as much of that rust out of there as we can. And you'll see as we continue down the rocker panel that there's gonna be more soft spots there than what's visible to the eye. Often the rust on these rocker panels will start inside, so you might think you don't have a problem way before you actually find out that you have a problem. All right, once you get all the rust beat out on the bottom of these and cut out your really bad spots, you're gonna wanna go and blow all the crud out of that rocker panel just so you're not sealing it inside with the quick cover. The next step to installing your quick covers is gonna be applying this multi-purpose grease all along the rocker panel and the cab corner. When you do this, you gotta be careful not to get it up where that 3M tape's gonna be sticking. And you'll wanna get as much coverage as you can. So the starter kit that they sell includes this grease that they recommend, as well as a brush. If you can find a set of gloves around the house, it's not a bad idea. And if you wear a watch or anything on your wrist, now's a really good time to take it off so you don't accidentally drag it through this grease when you're not looking. All right, once we've got our rocker panels and cab corner covered in this multi-purpose grease, we're gonna take this Like 90 corrosion inhibiting compound and we're gonna spray it inside the rocker panel in all the holes that we can access. And that's gonna help stop that chemical process of the rust from happening inside. So this is another product that's included in that starter pack that Quick Covers offers for sale. The last thing we've got to do before we can get the quick covers on the truck is going to be to go through with an alcohol wipe and just wipe down the surface where that double-sided tape's going to stick. You want to make sure there's no dirt or dust or grease or anything there, and make sure that that tape just gets a really good stick. So we're going to go through with one of the alcohol wipes. It's included with the pack. And then we also got a bolt we got to pull out of the front fender so that the quick cover will slip right into that front fender and make that nice factory line there. So the first piece that we're going to install on this truck today is the cab corner. And that's going to be the same on both sides. You're going to install the cab corner first. It's a little bit tricky to slide it up in between the box, but you're going to need to take and kind of come from the bottom and pull that flange. That way you can slide it right up and around. And with every piece that we install today, we're gonna be kind of careful to try to not catch that grease on that tape and drag it up with it. So once you get the cab corner seated, you're gonna wanna make sure that it's seated as far back into that corner as possible to make sure that you get the correct fit and it's not gonna scrape on the door when you close. Once you have it seated back, we can go ahead and we'll start pulling the tape. And then we're going to go ahead and put pressure on that, because don't forget that 3M is pressure sensitive tape. All right, and then these pieces back here in the back are a little bit tricky. You got to reach up and under the box and kind of finagle it. All right, once you've got the cab corner installed on the truck, it's time to finally install that rocker panel. So Quick Covers recommends getting an extra set of hands to do this, and believe me, it'll make it a lot easier. getting the front end tucked in is a little bit of a trick by yourself, and then getting this to clear the door is a little bit of a trick. So just make sure you're using caution and paying attention to this area here and this area here to make sure you're not going to scratch your paint while you're installing it. You good there? Yeah. Put that down. So before we stick the quick cover down, we want to make sure that we get it slid as far forward as it needs to be. And you'll feel it kind of take to the body lines of the existing cab. And as you're pulling the tape away, you just want to make sure that everything's seated as tightly as possible. And getting that first little start is a little bit tricky. And we'll go ahead and apply pressure all the way across that to get that adhesive to really start taking. And then you're really just going to work your way back down the truck. All right, once we get the 3M adhesive stuck down to the truck on the back of the rocker panel, we're going to go ahead and reinstall the weather stripping and the interior trim that you took out earlier. So you're going to want to make sure that that quick cover is slid into that gap as well as the original rocker panel. And make sure you get it back all the way in that back corner, otherwise it might seem like you have more weather stripping than what you need. All right, now that we've got that stuck on and the weather stripping back in, we're just about done. We got one last big step to do, and that's going to be putting the rivets in the bottom. The easiest way to do this is find as many sets of vice grips as you can. You might have to borrow some or go pick up a few more. You can probably get by with 3 or 4 sets. And we're going to go ahead and basically secure the entire bottom lip of the quick cover. That way it doesn't move around on us when we go to start drilling for the rivets. Once your quick covers are secured to the existing rocker panels with the vice grips, we're going to need to drill some holes. So get yourself a drill, and then you're going to need an 1/8 inch drill bit and a 3/16 drill bit. Both of those also come in that starter kit we've been talking about. So we'll use the 1/8 inch to drill pilot holes, and we'll drill 2 or 3 at a time, and then step those up to the 3/16. Once we have those 3/16 holes drilled, we're going to take the rivet gun and some rivets that also are included in that kit and put it up in that hole and then pop it so that it'll pull that quick cover into that rocker panel and hold it there securely. So if you've never used a rivet before, it slides up in the hole, and then when you pull it out, it actually bends down and it just sucks everything together, and it'll hold it there, and this tail here will snap off. So we're going to go ahead and get those on. They recommend 8 to 16 inches. I've found that I really like doing every 8 inches, give or take. It just kind of helps keep everything tight and keeps from getting any waviness in the bottom of that quick cover. So let's go ahead and get these rivets in. All right, guys, that is it. We've got our quick covers installed on this F150 SuperCrew now. We just threw that bolt back in the front fender and put this weather strip along the bottom with the leftover 3M double-sided adhesive that came with the kit. Now, don't worry, if you don't have an F150, most of this information still applies to you. The installation process is pretty similar across all the different pickups. So OAM carries just a huge variety of quick covers for all different years and body styles and brands. They probably have you covered for your rusty rocker panels and cab corners. So if you have the same rust issue that we had here today, go check out oamusa.com and get your set now.